Okay, the recording has started. Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from all over the world, from wherever you have joined. Here, I'm welcoming you to this a session of Terraform, a very important tool in DevOps. Okay, so I hope you are being able to see the screen. Uh, so what we have done is we have divided this session into two parts. That is, first, we will have few slides through which we will understand what Terraform is, what is the theoretical background of Terraform. And after that, we will switch over to the main portion, which is the hands-on. Because to understand the tool in these 2 hours of session, it is practically impossible to cover each and every aspect of a very vast tool and very important tool like Terraform. So what we have done is we will have the basic idea behind this particular tool. And after that, we will switch over to the hands-on, which will make the concepts a bit more clear. We are going to, first of all, we are going to create uh, an instance. So before we go into that aspect of the hands-on, let us start our session on Terraform, the theoretical background on Terraform. I hope you will be very happy to learn about, have an awareness of this particular tool. Let us begin. I hope you are being able to see the screen. So, right. So here we are. We are just having a brief background of what was Terraform. I mean, when did it start? It started commercially, that it was released in the market in 2017. And you see the journey. There were other tools. There were other competing tools in the market, but then you see the broader line. This has overtaken practically each and every one, and it is the leader of the pack in the market. Okay, that was the scenario in 2021. In these 2 years and 2.5 years now, it is much more popular, and it is not that Terraform alone. It is having its own uh, the whole suite of cloud. Terraform is available on the cloud. Terraform has its own cloud. Okay, anyway, that is not in the scope of discussion. Let us go to the next slide. So we'll understand what is Terraform. Terraform is a provisioning tool. So if I may take this and say it is a provisioning tool. So the first thing, oh, sorry, it is a provisioning tool. So can you see that it's a provisioning tool? What does that provisioning means? That means it is, with the help of this, you can create resources. That is the very important term. You can create resources. What is resources? That is the resources over a cloud provider. Resources over cloud provider. So let us concentrate on this, and we see that Terraform is a tool of building, changing, and versioning. So let me and versioning infrastructure safely and efficiently. That is what we say is you can create infrastructure through coding. It is to say that you can create infrastructure through code. Through code. That is famously it is known as infrastructure as a service or infrastructure through a code, infrastructure as a code, IaaS, because you can service it through a code. You can create the infrastructure through a code. You are writing basically Terraform scripts. Okay, Terraform scripts can be created. And these are called .tf files. .tf file. So you can name it as main.tf or resource.tf, or you can name it as, you can have several files in a particular folder, or you can name it as Devashish. So name does not matter. What matters is that by giving this TF as an extension, you mean to say it's a Terraform script, Terraform configuration through which you can configure or basically provision infrastructure configuration scripts. Okay. Now, so your Terraform can manage existing and popular cloud service providers as well as custom in-house solutions. The examples are you can provision in any given cloud, whether it's AWS or Azure or GCP. Is it fine? The cloud is any, the cloud provider could be anything. It could be a Google Cloud, or it can be a Microsoft Cloud called Azure, or it can be Amazon Cloud, AWS. It could be Oracle, it could be IBM Cloud, it you name it. And even Terraform has its own cloud. It does not need. It is a very cloud agnostic. You see, we have already discussed about configuration files. Configuration file describe to Terraform the components needed to run a single application on the entire data center. Data center is, you can say it's a particular availability zone on a cloud called AWS or Azure or GCP. So basically, you are creating your own server, your own network, or your storage, you name it. It can be anything. So Terraform generates an execution plan. So there will be a planning. You cannot construct infrastructure without a proper planning. Otherwise, the infrastructure is very weak. It is not stable. So in that case, what you do is plan it. And then if you're happy with that plan, you will execute it. How do you execute it? There are very simple Terraform commands. We will go through them, each and everyone. Okay. And then when you execute it, it will build that infrastructure for you as you desired. Okay. As the configuration changes, Terraform is able to determine what change and create incremental execution plans. Now we are talking about the state. Through the state file, you know what is the current state and what is the desired state. That is what the desired state is what you write in your configuration scripts. Okay, so if there is any difference between the desired state and the current state, then only you are going to build an infrastructure. Otherwise, if there is no change, that means you are just refreshing the whatever the current state is. It is all state based, whatever you want. The infrastructure Terraform can manage which can include low-level components such as instances. You can create your server, as we have discussed. You can create your storage, your networking, as well as if you want to plan it something higher, you can configure the DNS entries, or even you can build the software as a service features along with Terraform. So that these are advanced concepts through which you can build. Okay. So we have understood that infrastructure, we can code it, and Terraform will help you with the HashiCorp language. There is a certain language. If you write to a script, it is not that very complicated language like the JavaScript or the Java programming languages or the Python scripts, nothing like that. It is a very simple HashiCorp language that you employ and build your infrastructure configuration files. Okay. So the execution plan, Terraform has a planning step. So as we have discussed, you plan it. Otherwise, you must have a blueprint of your design or of your construction plan. So that is the plan. You execute the plan in the final stage. That is when you apply. When you apply is, when that is the time. Whatever you desired in the configuration file will be applied and will be created or modified or maybe destroyed. So whatever you apply it. Then there is change automation. You can use the complex change sets, which is part of your Terraform, which can be applied to your infrastructure with minimal human interaction. But generally what we do is, instead of using change sets, we are going to use the CI/CD pipeline that may be provided with Terraform, or maybe with Azure DevOps, or maybe within the with GitLab or Jenkins, whatever. The automation pipeline is a separate tool on which you host Terraform and build your infrastructure automatically. So there is the various features. We have You can support multiple platforms. Currently, there are more than 100 providers, and I think that the number is around more than 300 providers. Okay, but that's okay. 100 main providers, simple configuration language, and faster learning curve. So you will learn Terraform much faster than any of this other tools. You can easily integrate with the configuration management tools like Ansible. So here you have Ansible. See, Ansible and Terraform goes hand in glove. They are very much in tune with each other. So first in the sequence comes Terraform, which will create an environment, which will create the servers or the network whatever the infrastructure that is needed for your. It can be for your development, it can be for your testing, it can be for pre-production, or maybe for production. And on top of it sits Ansible. Ansible will do the fine tuning of the configuration, whether you want to install Docker Compose, or you can do any sorts of installation, configuration of the softwares, installation of your source code, Java code, and whatever. That will be done through Ansible. So Terraform and Ansible goes very well with each other. Easily extensible with the help of plugins. Now, this is the heart of Terraform, is the plugin. So through the plugins, you can just see on the screen, that is, this is the Terraform engine, Terraform core. And there you have the provider plugin. Now the plugins could be from any cloud. It doesn't matter which cloud you are using. So it could be AWS, it could be GCP, or the Google Cloud provider, or Azure provider. So the plugins will be installed, and the Terraform will call this plugin, and the plugin will in turn call the particular API. If it is a AWS provider, it will call the AWS API, and that API is going to do the work for you. So whatever you are trying to provision or create on the AWS, through the API call, it will be possible to create your resources over the AWS cloud, or the GCP cloud, or the Azure cloud. Terraform provisions, as we say, it is a provisioning tool. It will update, it can also destroy. If you can create, you can update, you can also destroy the infrastructure, because sometimes it is needed that you may need to remove something which you have done for experimental purpose, so that you understand what is what. So you may need to destroy it, or you can create your own virtual machines, your network switches, containers, and many more. Configurations are code written for Terraform using the, as we have already discussed, it is Terraform configuration language to describe the desired state of the infrastructure resources. So it is a very simple language to learn and use. And I will tell you, we do not need to learn much of this language also, because whatever you do on Terraform, there is a vast documentation and there are so good examples. You just have to hit the right example, you copy the example and modify it, customize it according to your needs. That's all. You do not need to go into learning a HashiCorp language like this. It is so easily adaptable. Providers. In fact, all the DevOps engineers will basically go for copying those examples and modifying them according to the need. It is that simple. Providers are the plugins that the Terraform uses to manage those resources. As we have already discussed, that you have to download the particular provider plugins, and then only you will be able to work on that particular cloud platform. Modules and workspaces are the advanced concept, but modules are very important concept as well. It is these are reusable Terraform configurations. That, of course, when we are going to enroll ourselves for the main course for this DevOps tools or DevOps, then we will learn in details. But for this 2 hour session of this today, it is not possible to discuss each and everything. And it's just an awareness program. So you just know that there is a thing called modules. The modules could be reusable objects or code or configurations where you can call it from your configuration files. So a bulk of the code is already stored as a library. You can say it's a library as a module, and you call that library or the module and use it. That's all. So you do not have to reinvent the wheel again and again. You just invent the wheel, put it in a place, and you call it as and when you need it. That's all. And finally, the Terraform registry. Now you see, you are downloading all these plugins, provider plugins. From where? There is, like, you have the Docker Hub, you have the GitHub. Docker Hub will store all the container images. Similarly, the GitHub will have your source code resources. See, here, the Terraform will have all the provider plugins. You download it from that. So that is what we are going to see in the demo as well. Now, as we have discussed, each of the provider like the AWS, Azure, VMware, GCP will have their own, that provisioning tool. But this is very proprietary. CloudFormation is the service or the tool that can be used only with AWS. So that's a feature or a service given by AWS. Similarly, in Azure, there is the Bicep or ARM templates. In VMware, you have the VMware SDK. But this provisioning tool can only work on VMware. It cannot work on Azure or AWS. Similarly, Bicep can only work on Azure, cannot work on AWS or this thing. So basically, they are bound to the proprietary company. For AWS, it is CloudFormation. So if your company is using Azure, but this CloudFormation is very famous and you know CloudFormation, but you cannot use it because your company is using Azure. You have to learn Bicep and then use it over Azure. You cannot have, maybe you are very well trained in CloudFormation, but it doesn't help. So what HashiCorp came up is that HashiCorp told the market that, okay, I understand the problem. You do not need to worry about that. I am giving you a solution, and that solution is Terraform. So you work with Terraform, and Terraform is cloud agnostic. It does not need to know about the cloud or depend on the cloud platform. You just use me, and I will be able to use the plugins of that particular cloud provider, and we'll be able to give all the services, all the provisioning tool services. Fantastic. Now you see, there are two things called procedural or imperative versus the declarative. As a DevOps engineer, we are only concerned with the declarative part of it. Declarative part is the script or something like you just want to tell Terraform what you want. When you join new, whether it's as a developer or a DevOps engineer, you are more concerned of how things are to be done. How is more important at that stage. But as you gain experience, you all know that everything, the magic lies in what. If you are concerned with what, then everything is done. But but for that you need to be a bit experienced. So in the beginning, initially, whenever you learn a subject, you focus because you are learning DevOps. So focus on the declarative part. Once you focus on the declarative part, you are master in your writing small scripts which can do a lot of big work. Here you have to do a big work. When you are using procedural or imperative, you are writing a big Java program but achieving a very little result, whereas you are doing a very small script in HCL, HashiCorp Terraform language, but you are achieving a lot of big things. And that is what we use in an automation pipeline or in an automation procedure. We use declarative. And using Terraform, we use declarative approach to specify what our infrastructure needs are. This is famously called as infrastructure as a code, as we have discussed. So you code your infrastructure, you write your infrastructure, you script your infrastructure. Is that fine? Great. We have known that the way you work is you write configuration Terraform scripts or configuration files, give it to the Terraform engine. Terraform engine will deploy it over whatever you desire it over onto AWS or VMware or Microsoft Hyper-V, OpenStack, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. These are all cloud platforms. So you name it. It is just a few examples, few mentions, but there can be hundreds and hundreds of providers. You name it. You just have to download the relevant plugins. You These scripts will never change. The technology doesn't change. And Terraform has a big library of documents. You just have to get that particular example. If you are using Azure, you get the Azure examples of writing creating an instance. If you are using AWS, you are going to know or download the examples for AWS, creating an EC2 instance. Okay. Now, Terraform is very cloud agnostic because it can deploy to any cloud or virtual infra provider. Clear? Okay, as I was discussing, there was Terraform, which integrates with different clouds through Terraform providers. We have already known that. Configuration files, then you have the AWS provider or the Azure provider, whatever the provider you download it. It is cloud agnostic. That means it does not need to know about the cloud. You just download the relevant provider and the plugin, and that plugin will do all the rest of the work. That is, it will make the API calls relevant to the provider. If it is AWS provider, it will be API calls for AWS. It is Azure for Azure API calls. That is the deployment targets. Now, there is another beautiful thing called state, and that state is where you create, the blueprint of what is your desired one and what is your current one. What is the current state which was achieved through your Terraform apply is the desired state. So the state is used by Terraform to map the real world resources. So the resources that you have created to your configuration. Keep track of the metadata. Metadata means if there is some changes, you will keep a track of that. If there was some changes, some modification of the already created resources, you will create a metadata of that. And to improve performance for large infrastructures, the state is stored in a default file called Terraform TF state. When we learn GitLab, you will see that this local file is never a local. It will be stored somewhere in the internet again for much more security. Because if it's a local, then there is a chance that somebody can tamper with this state. And if you change the state in that file, there is an umpteen chance that the state becomes very unstable. Terraform does not know what is to apply and what is the current state. So the desired state and the current state will get confused. So it is better to store it somewhere else in the internet. That will be provided by GitLab. The desired state is the state that you want your infrastructure to be defined in your configuration files. So whatever you define in the configuration file is your desired state. This is achieved when the Terraform configuration files are applied. Okay, whenever you apply, your configuration state has been defined and it will be stored in a configuration file called Terraform file called state file called terraform.tf state. The current state, whenever you try to apply again, it will pick up and read, and it will pick up and read from the current state. It will read and apply from the current state. So that is the main thing. If the current state, when it reads the Terraform TF state, it finds that it is the same as the desired state, then it will only refresh. Nothing to create new. So that is all. I mean, this is what you see. Then after this, we are going to start with the hands-on. Thank you very much. And just now, we are going to do the next part of the session, which is the configuration. That is the hands-on on the configuration. And that's all. And we are going to go to the next section. So we are going to start with the hands-on. We are going to start with the hands-on. The first step we do is we are going to use AWS because we are going to create EC2 instance. An EC2 instance. So let me go to my cloud. This is AWS Cloud. We have had a bit of an idea in the previous session that we had on the previous weekend. So I will log in. My first work is to create an IAM user with some credentials. I will tell you. So just it's a hands-on. It will also get you a revision on what you have learned on the previous session, which is on AWS. Okay. So I'm going to give the account alias Kalkey training. And I am user and I am the DevOps trainer and I'm going to sign in. I am the administrator. So I have the privilege to create another IAM user. Now you see, I have gone to the console page, AWS console page. And these are the various recently visited services that I have used. Or you can directly go to this one. Can you see that we are in Mumbai? I'm going to create under Mumbai, AP South 1. Okay. What is this? Can anybody tell me? AP-South 1. Can you tell me what is it? It is the region. Okay. This is the region. As we have discussed in our AWS Cloud, that the entire world is divided into, or they have divided the entire world into several regions, very long list of regions all over the world. And each region will have their availability zones, the subnet working for better administration and governance. Anyway, that was a different topic. Now, in the Mumbai region, I have logged in as DevOps trainer. My first thing is I will create an IAM user, or better to go for an IAM service. Or you can go from here, or you can go from here. Search for IAM, because now it is the time to create my IAM user. What I'm going to do is, in the IAM, and this is the identity and access management. That is what we have discussed in our previous session. Mhm. I'm going to create a user. Right now, I do not have the requisite user. I'm going to create the user. I'm going it in a bit hurry. So in the user, I'm going to give it a name as Devops Internship. Let's say I'm creating a user by this name. Okay, I will provide the user access to AWS console management console. Yes, of course, because I have to do it programmatically. I want to create an IAM user. I want to have a custom uh, password. Okay, I will give a password, and I'm giving this password DVOPS, same internship, but at least one letter has to be in capital, and it must be at least 8 characters. So these are I will show you the password. DevOps, D is capital. So what I will do in my note, I will put an IAM user. What is the IAM user name? Anybody? Internship, isn't it? That is the name of the internship. And what is the password just now we have created? D capital, rest is the same. Internship. Okay. So I have stored it for my, I will just, this is just for a demo, so it doesn't matter. I will remove the IAM user after the session. User must create a new password. No, no. I am happy with my custom password. So next. I don't want to save it now. I want to attach the policies directly. And for the time being, for the sake of this demo, I am not fine graining my policy. There is a lot of combinations that you might do, but that is a real life situation. But here I'm doing a demo. So I'm giving the full privilege. Let's say I'm giving the administrator access to this. I'm creating a policy and attaching that policy to that user, because I don't want to fine grain it. I don't. I want to create an EC2 instance. For that, I need a lot of uh, privilege to create that. I'm giving all the privilege, administrative privilege. Okay. I'm not setting the boundary and anything. I'm reviewing that. Okay, my username is Devops Internship, and there is the custom password. I do not require a password reset. I have given an administrator access. Fine. I will create a user. I do not want to create a tag. So immediately, uh, see, this user has been created, and this will be only one time. So you can have the last time to see your uh, password. It is DevOps Internship. Yeah, you can copy this and put it over here. I have already done that, so that is fine. And also you can, just in case typed in incorrectly, I can just copy and paste. That is best. Fine. Now I will return to the users list, but that is not all. You see, I have just created a user, but this user does not have any security credential. And if I do not have a security credential, I can log in with my user login and password, but from external world, that is from Terraform, if I do not give an access credential, it will not. It's like a token. It's like a token. So without a token, it will not allow. So what we will do, I will click on it. I will create the access key. That is the token. See, access key is part of the security credentials. Without an access key, you will not be allowed. And I would like command line interface use case. Okay. These are all radio buttons, so you can only select one. And because I'm going to use in Terraform, I would like to use through a CLI. I understand the recommendation. So I don't want to give a tag value, create the access. Now, immediately, you must take a note of it. This is the access key. I copied it and I will put it over here for the time being. And this is most important. It will not never be shown again. So you can show it, you can copy it, and it will never be, once it is, you are out of the screen, it will not be shown again. So I have kept a note of it. Done. You see, you can see your access key, but you cannot see your secret access key. So anyway, so we have done it. But how do I know that I can use it? So what I can do, I can sign out from here. I sign out from here and I will sign in with my newly created IAM user. So my Kalkey training is my account. And what is my user? Let me copy it from here. I'm a bit lazy. I don't want to type in. So I will just go and give it. And for the password as well, I don't want to type in. I will just copy from here. This is the IAM user password. This is not the security credential. With this, you are going inside the console. Yes, you are successful. And because you are an administrator, administrative privilege you have attached the policy. Now you have all the privileges to create AWS instance. I will go to my Mumbai region. Okay, so we are in the Mumbai region. And who has logged in? Devops Internship, the new user that has been created just now. Now we go to EC2. See, I need a platform where I would install my Terraform and to work on it. Okay. Right now, this is an EC2 dashboard. This is a dashboard where you have all the components of EC2, like there can be elastic IPs, load balancers, snapshots, volumes, placement groups, instances, auto-scaling groups, dedicated hosts, key pairs, and security groups. This key pair security group will be integral part of instances. So I will go to instances. I click on this. There are no instances. First of all, I need a server for myself to develop the Terraform scripts, isn't it? So what I will do, I will launch an instance quickly. This is a wizard. This will guide me through creating the instance. Let me give it appropriate name, say DevOps Internship. Internship. I'm just given a name to my EC2 instance. I will select Ubuntu. What is that? This is an AMI, Amazon Machine Image. This is very important. You are, instead of installing a operating system, you are attaching an image. That is the beauty. I'm using Ubuntu. Ubuntu is one of the Linux flavors. There can be so many. Okay, I'm just going for Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a very famous and very popular Linux operating system like Red Hat. I'm going for the latest version 22.02. This is the machine image. This is automatically built for you, and I'm in the free tier. It's okay. Instance type, what is the size? I am happy with the T2 micro. Micro is a small size. There are lots of other types and sizes. So I am using a one CPU, one CPU, 1 GB of memory. That's okay for my demo purpose. Key pair. I would like to create a key pair. You know what is a key pair? Any idea? That day, I think I have mentioned. Key pair is like a fingerprint. See, this is a resource, a server on the cloud, and without a particular fingerprint, you will not be allowed. See, earlier days you used to have a password. With a password, you will be able to enter or get in, log in into your server. But nowadays, password is it's a very vulnerable. It can be hacked, it can be leaked. So password is not the right security step. So we will create a new key pair. Key pair is like a fingerprint, and a fingerprint will never match. Any one person's fingerprint will never match with the other person in this world. So we will create a key pair for our authentication. I will create a key pair by the name, same DevOps. I'm giving some everywhere internship. So my key pair name is also DevOps internship, and I'm using a PPK. Those things are difficult to discuss over here now, but just to tell you that this is a encryption type of a key, and why I'm using a private key file format. I am using this PPK format, not the PEM format, because I'm going to use it with PuTTY. Okay. So I will create the key pair. This key pair will be downloaded into my Windows. If it is Windows, it is Windows downloads folder. If it is on Mac, it will be on some favorites folder or some downloads folder as well. I'm not sure. So I will create a key pair. Without a key pair, see, it has downloaded this. Where? It has downloaded in my downloads folder. In the downloads folder, it has downloaded DevOps Internship. So I will use this one, this key pair, because for handshaking I need this one. So this server has been assigned with a key pair by this name. Now, for what is the network settings that we need? I need a VPC, at least a VPC. I cannot create an EC2 instance without a VPC. So I'm selecting the default VPC of that region. You know that. And the subnet, I do not prefer. Let AWS decide which subnet, because there will be 3 subnets. Uh, the region is AP Southeast 1, South 1. And so the subnets will be AP, or availability zones are AP South 1A, South 1B, South 1C. So I am letting it to be decided by AWS. Whichever availability zone is having a lesser load, let that instance be created by at that particular availability zone in that data center. Okay, I will, and also I will assign an randomly generated public IP address. So all these things are there. I would like to use a security group. Security group is like a firewall. Even if you have a fingerprint, but then whatever the incoming traffic, inbound traffic or outbound traffic from the server needs to be guided with some rules. I will make it a proxy thing. That means a firewall. So there will be, it will allow specific traffic, not all. I am selecting a existing security group, and that security group is, let's say it is already created. I'm not, for my working, I'm using this one. That's okay. And my storage is 8 GB, and this is a GP2. That is a SSD. SSD GP2. SSD is a solid state device. It's an optical device, optical hard disk, you can say. And I can review this. And I'm saying I'm creating one instance of AMI of Ubuntu T2 micro is the size. I'm using a firewall of launch wizard 3. That's okay. And I'm using a volume of 8 GB. I will launch this instance. Success. So you go to your instances. You see, it is now making the server up and running. What is the server name? Just now you have created Devops Internship. What is the size? It is T2 micro, the instance type. Um, which zone? Did I select the availability zone? No. So AWS has selected this data center for me automatically. And it has generated a public IP address like this. And it is the security group is Launch Wizard 3. And the key pair, what is the key pair name that you have given? It is Devops Internship, right? All these things are fine. And also now it is running. It is up and running. Anything that any resource that you create on your cloud will have a ID. So anyway, I'm going to use this public. You cannot use the private IP address to log in. You have to do because you are external public. So you have a separate IP address for this instance to connect to. So I have copied this one. So I can keep so the public IP address is this one. Fine. And I will go to PuTTY. PuTTY is a SSH tool, SSH connection tool, connection over SSH. Connection type is SSH. Okay, I have already connected, developed the session. Okay, I will just load it. I will just make it bigger. So I will change the font size to bold and 14 and say OK. And I will go to the session. I will change the IP address. What is the IP address? This is the IP address, isn't it? Through which you are going to copy. See, this is Windows. I'm on Windows. I'm going to connect to some server which I have created on the cloud, AWS Cloud. So I'm going to use a connection, and that connection is of type SSH, secure shell connection. And the secure shell connection will be over port 22. Anyway, so I have given everything. My behavior, Devops Internship. Okay, so this is the window title, and therefore, okay, the last thing that I need to do is the connection and SSH. See, I have given the connection as 5 seconds. That is between the terminal and the server. There will be a heartbeat going on. So every 5 seconds there will be a heartbeat going to the server saying that, okay, I am a terminal. I am a terminal from Devashish's laptop, and I would like to say that please keep me alive so that you do not break the terminal with an idle time. So it's a keep alive seconds. Data. In the data, I have given Ubuntu because with Ubuntu, I'm going to log in. Ubuntu is the user, default user. And Ubuntu will be using some authentication credentials. That is it is not password, it is the fingerprint. And I will change the fingerprint. What is the name of the fingerprint? I will say, okay, I will browse. I will go to my, yeah, you see, it is Devops Internship, isn't it? That is the PPK file that you have downloaded while you have created the key pair. So all these things done, what I will do, I will save the session and open the session. You see, it is now trying to connect to the server. You accept the fingerprint. This is the fingerprint. The fingerprint. I accept it. Okay. So we have successfully gone inside the server. clear, we can clear the screen. So I will quickly change my profile and I will go and create a prompt because that prompt does not suit me. I will say I will have DevOps internship. Everywhere I'm giving internship. I'm very fan of this particular program. So, and my PWD is the present where I am, present working directory. These are all Linux commands. So I'm setting up my prompt and then I will execute my prompt by executing the profile. So I'm executing with the source command and saying, can you see the prompt has changed? It is DevOps internship home Ubuntu. Home Ubuntu is because this is my currently I am logged into Ubuntu and Ubuntu has logged into its home folder. So who am I? I am Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the user. Anyway, so doing this, I will create mkdir Terraform folder because I'm going to install Terraform. Otherwise, how will I create my configuration files? Okay, so I'm creating a folder, Terraform folder. Nothing is there. Nothing is there over here. You see, I will first thing, I've done many things. What are the things that I have done? I will now see, I have done already this part. This is a very important part. The security credentials. Okay. I will be using static credentials. I will tell you. This part IAM user has been done. I have generated the access key. So these two has been done. The thing is, I would like to install it. I'm installing what? I'm installing, if you say which Terraform, are you following me? Please let me know. I see
Oh,
that there
sir.
is no Terraform. Hello?
Excuse me, sir. Sir, 1 second. Sir, in Mac, how can I connect in Mac? In
Sorry?
this, actually, I'm using MacBook. So how can I connect
Oh,
with the
okay. Okay.
instance?
Very good question. Very good question. But can I hold that question for the time being?
Yeah, sure, sure. No problem.
So once I complete with the demo, I will come to the Mac terminal. You are basically you going to use Mac terminal and you are going to use the command called SSH. And what is the
Okay.
syntax, the full syntax of SSH? I will tell you.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
It's very simple, not at all difficult. But see, in Mac, you cannot use putty. You do not have a Windows interface like you do not have a GUI interface to connection because this is not needed much. It is straightforward, simple SSH connection. So what you see that there is no Terraform installed. So why don't we go and install Terraform? Sudo apt uh, update. This is the first command. I am updating my apt repository. Apt repository is the app application package manager. Okay, for Ubuntu. I am updating the repository. Before I go for any major installation, I must update. Next step is I would like to do some additional softwares before I install the main software of Terraform. Terraform needs some help of some additional softwares. Okay, so what I will do, I will go and sudo apt install. I'm installing this GNU-PG, software properties common, and curl. I think you know all these things. Unable to locate package. Oh, sorry. So fine. There was double dash dash. This is not correct. Anyway, we have done that. And I'm going to download the GPG key because you cannot access or work with Terraform without a Terraform key, HashiCorp key. So I'm going to download this. It is 100% downloaded. The key has been downloaded. If the key has been downloaded, I have to verify this. Yes, it has been put it into some file under the key rings. So it's a key ring. These are the various default, I mean, these are the steps. You may do it, or it is very simple. You just have to copy and paste and understand what we are doing. We have kept this particular key information into a file, and that file is under the etc apt sources list d HashiCorp list. These are requirements. That's fine. Now I'm coming to the main part. So I am updating again the repository, because after I have downloaded the keys and all those stuff, there is some update in the repository. So I have to update it correctly. Once I have done that, I will say, I will copy this. It's very simple. Sudo apt install Terraform. Now this is the main software, -y. -y because I do not want to be interrupted, is for interaction. So Terraform has been installed. How do I know? I will say which Terraform, and you see it has been installed. The Terraform executable has been installed under user bin. And also you can say what is the Terraform version. Earlier I was not getting anything, but now I will see that it is version 1.7. So Terraform has been installed. That's good news. So we have completed this slide. We have completed this slide. We have completed this slide. Okay. Now it is the time to write our plugin. I mean, we have to get hold of the plugin. So we are writing the provider.tf. So what we'll do, we will quickly see here. There is nothing. I will use VI editor to create a file provider.tf. You can name it anything. You can name by your name as well. Terraform is Terraform totally ignores about all those nomenclature. But yes, you cannot give something like Terraform. Fine. Nothing like that. You have to give TF, which is the configuration file. That's important. And I will just copy this. I will explain you. Oh, okay. Let me copy the entire section. It should be two places towards the right. So I will. Okay. I will tell you what we have done. Now, this portion, this part, Terraform, I'm saying that Terraform, because Terraform, how does it Terraform know what is your provider? So in this case, my provider is AWS. On the AWS Cloud, I want to create my EC2 instance. That's important. So I'm saying, so required providers is AWS, and I have to get it from the HashiCorp registry. That means the Terraform registry. That is where all the plugins are stored. Not only AWS, all more than hundreds of plugins are there. So you have to download it from this one, and the version of AWS plugin is 5.0, more either 5 or more than 5.0. And here this is the main portion. After that, after I had the plugin, then there is a API call, and this API call, first thing is I will say what is my region. The provider is AWS with that API. So I'm using an API provider call, the AWS provider. And the region I'm specifying is AP South 1. What is AP South 1? You know, it is Mumbai region in India. And the access key. Now, uh, I have already given. See, this is not secured. You should not. You should not hard code the access key and the secret key within this. This is needed to access your AWS. Without this, your security credentials, you will not be allowed to get inside AWS. But this is not the way. This is not the secured way, because your script, when you put that into your GitHub, okay, for storing, then anyone can see your access key and secret key. Then your security is compromised. Your account can be hacked. Somebody else can go into your account. I mean, not log into your account, but they can use Terraform or use any other tool to uh, destroy your resources over this, because you have let them know your access key and this thing. But for the sake of this demo, this is okay. There is another way to hide your access key, but your Terraform will know that this is the security credential. That is out of scope of this discussion today. But anyway, I will like to copy this. This is the access key, isn't it? So I will copy this over here. Without this, you will not be able to get into the AWS cloud. Any case, I will, after the session, I will remove the IAM user. Okay, so you will never be able to this thing. So I have done this. I have said the provider is AWS, and the region that I'm going to use for creating my EC2 instance is this, is AP South 1, which is Mumbai, and the access key is this, and the secret key is this. Okay. There is some problem. It is. It has the network error. I could not save it. Did I save it? I have to do it again. What happened? These are the things that is out of our control. So I will have to reboot the instance. Let me wait for that. This can happen anytime. It should not, but sometimes it happens. Or else I have to shut down and restart it. Okay, what I will do is these things are very okay. What I will do is I will stop the instance, and then I will restart the instance. I'm refreshing it just to see what is the current status. I'm seeing it is still stopping. It takes a bit of time. It has stopped. So if it has stopped, I can start it again. So see, any time it has started, it will have a new IP address. So this IP address will not be valid anymore. Every time it starts up, it will be a new randomly generated IP address that is generated by AWS. If you want to avoid having if you wanted to have a fixed one, then what will you do? As we have discussed,
Uh,
it is the elastic IP. Sorry, tell me.
Create VPC.
No, 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 not VPC. It has nothing to do with the VPC. You have to do an elastic IP
Okay,
and
sir.
attach that elastic IP to your instance. That so you will have a fixed and a constant IP address. Okay. So this
Okay,
time
sir.
the IP address generated is this one. I will again try to connect it with my putty, the same session, load it, but I will just change the IP address. Okay, save it and try to open it. Because the rest of the things are fine. You see, it has gone. And it has giving the title of the window is DevOps Internship. That's fine. And it is the prompt is suggesting this one. I will quickly go over to my Terraform folder and I will see if there is, oh, I have to do it again. So I will rm minus f. The swap file was because in the meantime, I did not save it and it was hanged. I will have to do it again. Provider.tf. I will insert, go to my code. I'm copying this entirely same way. And I'm just simply now changing this is the only change that I have to do. So what I do is I go there, paste it, give a double quotes. Similarly, here also, I will do the same thing. I will go here. I will copy this. And I will quickly save it such that, I have saved it. Saved it. So if I say Terraform validate, it will give an error. It is saying that I am not being able to find out the required provider. Why? Because it is you have not yet downloaded the plugins. So does Terraform know what is your provider? Is it AWS or Azure or GCP? No. So you have to do Terraform init. Before I do the Terraform init, you see there are no Terraform folder or anything. And so what we do is Terraform init, you initialize it. Initializing means you are initializing the backend and you are initializing the provider plugins. You see what version did you give? Version 5 or over more than 5. So it has got the latest version of 5, which is 5.42.0. And Terraform has been successfully initialized. Initialized means with the provider plugin. And if you are interested to know where did it download, you will see a dot file, a dot folder, the blue one, the Terraform. I will install the tree, sudo apt install tree minus y. So tree has been installed. Why did I install tree? Because I wanted to check the structure of this folder in a tree form. Yes. So under this .terraform, there is providers folder. Under this, there is a registry Terraform IO folder. Then there is a HashiCorp. Then there is AWS. Then this is the version, latest version. And within that, you have the Linux, because Ubuntu is a Linux. And then in the 64-bit, you have, this is the Terraform provider for AWS plugin. This is the plugin. Can you see? That is what we were discussing. And now, since you have this plugin, you can say Terraform validate. It will not give you any error. Yes, the success, your configuration is valid because I have a valid Terraform provider. So what is valid? This provider.tf is valid. Okay, now we proceed with it. We go to the, so this slide is over. We go to the next slide. I will create a resource called AWS Security Group. Now that is necessary, you know. So what I will do is VI security group. That is necessary because without a security group, you will not be able to create your instance. So I'm not taking a default security group. While creating, see, while creating my instance, where I'm writing this Terraform and those installing Terraform and writing Terraform script, I had that security group. I did not create this. I used this. But right now, I am creating an instance and I'm going to, so if you check the number of security groups, you see there is only launch wizard 3 and default. I'm going to add one more security group into this Mumbai region. And that security group I'm doing. I'm not going through the details of this because that is not in the scope of this demo. This is called the HCL script, the configuration file. You are naming this security group as HTTP server SG. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? You are giving it a name, security group name. And this VPC I'm going to change because I have to pick up the VPC which is there in that region, Mumbai region. So what do? I've deleted that. What do? I go to my console and I go to a service called VPC to find out what is the default VPC. So I will go there. This is a service of AWS. I will go to your VPCs. This is a VPC dashboard. And I will go to, this is the default VPC. For any region, you must have one default VPC. And I'm just going to pick up this VPC ID. This VPC ID, I can copy it over here. So VPC ID for Mumbai region is this one. Okay, and that is what I'm going to copy it over here into my, and I'm going to give a double quotes. The rest is the inbound. See, any security group will have a security group. Like I will go to my EC2. Go to my EC2 dashboard and you see the security group. I think from my side, my network is a bit slow, going slow. Anyway, as you see, when you say any security group, there is the inbound rule and the outbound rule. Some rules are there. So to allow the traffic in or to disallow any traffic inside. So I have two inbound rules or several inbound rules over here, but I do not need so many inbound rules. I would need at least the SSH and the HTTP, or maybe this HTTPS as well. So these are the various ports. 443 for HTTPS, 22 for SSH, HTTP is 80. Similarly, I will go back. I'm going to create my own security group. That is the resource. I'm creating it through Terraform script. I'm giving an ingress rule of SSH. So for this is this is for HTTP 80, and for SSH it is 22. For outgoing, for egress, I do not specify any port. So any port from anywhere for with any protocol. Here the protocol is TCP. Here the protocol is TCP. Here I do not need any protocol. It can be UDP. It can be anything, any protocol. And I'm giving a name to this as HTTP server SG. With this, I just save and come out. And again, I will say Terraform validate. Why validate? Because I want to check whether the configuration is correct. It does not mean that I'm only checking only one Terraform file. I'm checking all the Terraform files that I have created. How many Terraform files did we create right now? We have created 2 Terraform files, provider and security group. Let me do the Terraform plan. I'm doing it a bit fast because we are towards the end. I just have to, because there was few disturbances today. Sorry for all this inconvenience. So you are taking a bit, we are taking a bit of time. You see, the plan says I am going to add one resource. And what is that resource? That resource is a create. You are creating a resource. And what is that resource? You are creating a resource called AWS Security Group, and the name is HTTP Server SG will be created. Everything will be given in the, this is a blueprint. Okay, and we are using the VPC ID for the Mumbai region. The name is HTTP Server SG. Whatever, this is a plan, but this is not yet created. See, this I have only seen the, see, I have not created any HTTP Server SG. Now, when I say Terraform apply without asking my approval, auto approve. So automatically, please apply the plan. The blueprint is there. Terraform, please go ahead and apply that blueprint. So you are creating a security group. Can you see? Plan is one to add. Yes, you are creating, and you have created. The creation was completed in 2 seconds. Fine. So one resource added. From where? From Terraform, from outside world into an AWS account. So what is that account? This is the account. And you have the security credentials already given. So therefore, now if I refresh it, do you see your HTTP server has been created? HTTP server SG security group. This is the security group name. And if you see the inbound rules, if you go to edit inbound rules, how many rules did you set? You had 2 ingress, HTTP and SSH. So that's, it is what you desire. That's what we have discussed. Terraform is what you desire, is what you get. And outbound.
Hello. Sorry.
Hello?
So in summary, is it security group we created or an EC2?
No, it is only the security group, because now this security group I'm going to attach to my EC2 instance.
Okay, got
So
it.
there will
Thank
be,
you.
yeah, there is one more step. Okay. So in this, you see the outbound rule is only one, because you have allowed everything, all traffic, all protocols, all port range. So you are not restricting for outbound. Anyway, we have seen that we are successful in our first script. I will go back. Now we are very happy. We are almost there. we are now going to create our EC2, the last step, TF. I will just go to my slide. I have saved some time because I have already coded that into my slides. I will go there. I will just copy and paste. My work is done. What I'm doing, yeah, few things I have to mention. The resource I'm going to create is AWS instance. Any AWS resource will always start with AWS underscore. And what we are going to create is instance. So the resource name is AWS instance. And I'm giving an internal name HTTP server, but actually the name is, the tag name is HTTP server instance. This is what we are going to see the name as. AMI. Now that is very important. I will delete this. This, see, the AMI will vary from region to region. So I have to be very particular which region I am. I will go to EC2. I'm in Mumbai region. So the operating system, which is AMIs stored in the Mumbai region, will be different, will have different IDs. So you go to instances. There is one instance, that is my instance, on which I'm working with Terraform files. There are Terraform. It is a bit slow today. I don't know why. So I will go there. I will go and pick up the same AMI ID. This is Ubuntu 22.04, isn't it? So I will copy this, my AMI ID, which is nothing but AMI ID is this one, which is nothing but Ubuntu 22.04, correct? So I'll copy this one and go to my script, and I will just simply paste it. My work is done. Okay, what is the key name? I would like to use the same key name. I don't want to create the key again and again. So what is the key that we have already created? Devops Internship, isn't it? The key pair. So I will give the same name, internship. I don't want to create another one. So I'm using the same key name. The instance type, let's say I'm going to create a T3 medium, so a bit bigger machine than micro. I can do that. These are the things that you have to change. This structure you are not going to change in your organization. Just these parameters you might need to change. Maybe the architect had told you that you have to create a T3 medium. So you are saying, okay, fine, I'm doing it instance type T3 medium. And the security group for the VPC is the one that you have already created. Remember, you have created your HTTP server SG. So the resource is AWS security group. The server, the internal name is HTTP server SG, and you are using that ID. There can be several security groups, but therefore it's an array. So you have included within the square bracket. Out of this array, you are using one particular ID. Which ID you are using? You are going to use which ID? This ID. This is the ID that is you are mentioning over here. Security group ID and this one. So what I will do, I will not hard code because this is already the resource I have generated. Why should I hard code? Okay, so this is what I have done. And subnet ID. Okay, subnet ID also is the one thing that you may need to decide. I'm not sure. So I will remove this and I will go over here. Which subnet do you want? So I will go to my EC2 instance. or better to say, yeah, EC2 instance, EC2 not instance, dashboard, and I will go for my subnets. Okay, so this, oh, fine. Better to say I will copy a particular subnet. So I go to VPC. Because under the VPC will be the subnets. So I will go to subnets. I will go to subnets. It's a bit slow. Okay, which subnet do you want? You tell me. Whether you want AP South 1B or 1C or 1A. Let me take 1C. Let me take 1C. So I will copy this. I will put it over here. The subnet is this. Subnet ID is this. And I will similarly go over to my script and I will just simply copy this, paste this. And that's all. I will quickly save this. And what do I do? First is Terraform validate. Always validate because you have written a new script. Check whether that is correct. Yes. Terraform plan. You may skip it, but I am not that confident. Let me check the plan first. And exploring the plan, I will see that my security group is already created, so it will not create again. So it will only create the instance, the new resource. See, the security group was already created, so it will only refresh. Remember, we have discussed the state, and the state says that between in the security group, you do not have any difference between the desired state and the current state. It is reading from the Terraform file, TF file, state file, and it is only refreshing. But here it is creating what? The instance. AWS instance is creating. And you will see that it is the AMI ID. There are 5 important things that it needs. And it is used the same security group that you have specified, you see, within the square bracket. Anyway, the subnet that you have given and the instance type that you have given, and what else you have given? You have given one more thing. Yeah, Devops Internship, the key pair, the key name, isn't it? The 5 parameters, the mandatory parameters you have given. I hope, I'm sure. You see, this is the Terraform TF state. This is the state file from where the Terraform, while it is applying and doing this, it will do. I will now say Terraform apply auto approve. It is creating an HTTP server, that AWS instance. It takes a bit of time, but within 12 seconds, it created a server. Isn't it quite amazing? See the power of Terraform. One resource has been added. Now let's go and verify. I will go to EC2. And I go there. Now you should see 2. Earlier it was 1. If it is 2, then we are very happy. Yeah, it is 2. Let's see. Correct. See, this is your newly created instance. I have not done this through launch instances, no manual thing. It was through automation script, and this was done. And you can see that it has generated with an IP address, and I can simply go and connect to this. I have copied this. I will go over here. I will connect to that new session, and I will just say, because my key pair is the same, so I can load the same thing. I will just have to change the IP address. I will open this. Yes, it is allowing me to get inside. Yes. And can you see that you have logged into the internal IP address or the private IP address 312823? Let me check. Yes, 172.31.28.23. So you have logged into your newly created instance, and the instance name is HTTP server instance, isn't it? This is T3 medium. Didn't you give T3 medium as your instance type? Yes. And did you not select the availability zone as AP Southeast South 1C? Yes. And did you not give the security group as HTTP server SG? Yes. Did you not give the key name as Devops Internship? Yes. So if you have given all what you desired, then that is the thing that you have got. And also it was possible to get me inside this server. So everything what you desired has happened. The last step is, I would not like this to be there. Suppose I want to get it removed. I'm happy with my result, and I'm very happy, and I'm thanking Terraform for this beautiful work. Now the last step is, I will say Terraform destroy auto. So we had lost half an hour, so I think we have made it up. Are you happy? It is destroying
Sure.
whatever it has created. How did it know what it has created? From where? Can you just answer this question? How it is knowing what it has to destroy? What are the things it has created? There must be
So
some
it's
mechanism.
destroying the security group and the EC2.
Is it
Yes, yes. But how does it know?
because we are giving AMI and VPC and our
No,
VPC ID.
no. That is sure. That is sure that it will find out ultimately what is the security group, what is the instance, EC2 instance. But how does it find out that it has to destroy? There can be hundreds of EC2 instances. There can be hundreds of security groups. But that particular one that you wanted to destroy, it has destroyed only two. And it has destroyed only the security group. So it is getting this information from where? From the Terraform TF state, from the state file. It is reading the current state. That means what are the resources that you have created or modified? That is what it is going to destroy. It will not destroy anything else. That is the design. That is the technology. I will verify that now. I will go over here. I will see. I will first of all refresh this. Do you see it is terminated? What? Did it terminate this one? No, because I did not desire to terminate this one or to destroy this one. This is what I have created through my script, and this is what I destroyed through my script. Isn't it?
I think you
Isn't it?
destroyed that one because you was logging into that particular server.
No. That login was, see, it will be now this has been removed, so I cannot log in anymore.
Oh.
It is because it was there in these informations were there in the Terraform TF state. What are the resources that you have created? Only those are the resources that it will go to destroy. This information is there in the state file. This is the state file. And the state file is now empty. It has made a backup.
Okay, let me ask, if you have if you had created some resources there like yesterday, and you do
Yes.
Terraform destroy, will it
Yes.
touch the ones created yesterday?
Yes, yes, because that is the thing. You must have created that Terraform TF state into a particular folder where you have created all those scripts. So you must remember, if you do everything in one folder, then it is confusing, because the latest Terraform state will give you the actual current picture. So yesterday you have done some Terraform files and executed, planned, and applied into that folder. Today, you have again used the same Terraform folder and created some other scripts. So, but the Terraform backup file, the state file will remain the same. So that will be overwritten. So your what you did yesterday was lost. So always create different folders for different projects. So now you see this has terminated. What about the security group? Security
It
group,
will also
yes,
terminated.
you are not finding that HTTP server SG. That is also gone. So that is the beauty. So today I leave it over here. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Yes, sir. Regarding MacBook, how can we connect with instance IDs?
Oh, okay. Let's say in MacBook, in your Mac, okay, leave it. So in your MacBook, you have a thing called terminal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, terminal. So go into that terminal, invoke the terminal, and after the terminal is open, you give a command. There will be a dollar prompt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dollar prompt. Okay, fine. Under the dollar prompt, you give SSH -I, give the PEM file name. Say, let's say you have created a key pair with name as Devops .pem, and it see your terminal. You must be in some default in some folder. You must ensure wherever this DevOps PIM, or you might give the entire absolute path. Let's say you have given some folder like Nikhil. Under Nikhil, you have stored the file. So Nikhil is in the root folder, and under that root folder is Nikhil, and under that you have stored your devops.pem. PEM file is the key pair. After that, you say I means the identity file through which your fingerprint will be matched, and then give the username Ubuntu @ you give the IP address, the public IP address of the instance. In our case, the public IP address is something like this. Okay, so what you do is you give this. So this is once you now, if I do this, it will not, because sorry. It will try to, because SSS command will try to connect, but this is denied because I do not. This is just an example. Followed?
Yes, sir. Got it.
This is simple SSH, but this is the command.
Okay, sir.
Very
Thank
simple. It will give you this type of connection, and you will come back to your. You will get inside, login into this.
Yes, sir. Sir, and one more thing. Terraform application is also there, right? Instead of you're using server, if I use application in on our laptop, is it possible it is working?
Yeah. You can have Terraform for Windows, you can have Terraform for Mac. I have, because in an organization when you work, you are generally not going to work with your Mac terminal or your Windows. It is always that they will be giving you a Linux system to work on. That's why
Okay,
I
sir.
showed it on Linux.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Got it?
Got it.
That was the reason.
Um,
Yeah.
Yes, I just have one quick question. I know you said it's out of the scope of the course, but could you please mention where else we can store the keys instead of hard coding it in the Terraform provider.pf?
I thought I was being very apprehensive of this question, and it was this question that I was expecting from one of you. There is a way to secretly hide your access key and the secret key, and it is not for the sake of demonstration. I have done that. Okay, to expose within the provider.tf, but that is not at all advisable. You have to store it somewhere. Either you use the AWS CLI, okay, you use it with the AWS CLI. AWS CLI is some way of you configure. There is a AWS CLI command. These are the things that we need to learn. Okay, within the ambit of AWS, you store, hide the you configure it. You configure your secret key and access key within the ambit of AWS. That is one way. Another way is during the pipeline. We will understand in the GitLab that in the GitLab CI/CD pipeline, you can uh, put the key within the GitLab environment, so such that from outside world nobody can see it. Because unless and until you put it, hard code it in the script, then only there is a chance that somebody else will be able to see it and use it. But otherwise, if you hide it within the environment of GitLab or within the environment of AWS CLI, nobody is able to see it. In Kubernetes, you have a very good thing called config map, where you can secretly hide your security keys and whatever, all these tokens. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sir.
I have
Is
one
it
question.
only hello, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Is it only in Ubuntu that you can actually create Terraform, or you can do it? Because remember that you deleted the AMI. What about any other platform you can, create Terraform apart from using Ubuntu?
Yeah, you can use Terraform. You can install Terraform on Windows, on Mac, on Linux, on any version of Linux.
Linux, yeah. Okay.
Any, like it can be Red Hat, it can be SUSE, it can be Fedora, it can be Amazon Linux, it can be, you name it, any version.
Okay.
Kali Linux.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Good question. I just shown it over the Ubuntu because I have to take one thing, one platform. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have created the access and secret key. If we forget to remove that access and secret key, is it a chargeable?
Oh, the EMI. No. Sorry, IAM user.
Yes.
No, accounts are not chargeable. No, never.
Okay.
The resources that you use, if you are in the free tier, even few of the resources that you use are not chargeable.
And fell and
Okay.
Accounts are never chargeable.
landed in his co-worker's vagina, and he's still stuck there. I love it.
It was a breeze. It was like a breeze because in this 2 hour session, it is not really possible. It is an awareness program where where I have tried to just give you a demo of how powerful Terraform is, how quickly we can provision a resource. But actually, in real life, there are lots of things in Terraform in all the subjects that we are going through. But this is just an awareness program such that you build a interest, you grow an interest, and you grow that hunger to know much more with us. So that is the main purpose and objective of this. Also, after this, you will be learning, after learning DevOps, you will be stepping into the security domain. That means that is much in demand. Once you are DevOps, you have a know-how of DevOps, you go into cybersecurity and DevSecOps. That will give you a big edge over any other person competing with you.